Hey everybody, hope everybody's doing good. Somebody give me a 5 for 5 and we will roll into it. Into it. Ain't seen you guys in a couple days. Missing everybody. So hope everybody's good. If I got a 5 for 5, I will roll right through, and because I'm going to not try to look at this chat a whole lot at the beginning so I can get through everything. Okay, thank you. Give me 1 second, guys. Sorry. Oh, goodness. What did I do? What did I do? What did I do? What did I do? Yeah. What did I do? Singing along. It's sing-along time. Just kidding. Okay. Hey, Ron, gifted another 5 memberships right off the get. Man, starting out strong, baby. Love it, buddy. Appreciate you so much, guys. And on that note, on the memberships, guys, if you guys are lucky enough to get one of those gifted memberships, Angel got one right there. Angela Bloom. Who else? Anastasia, Paul, AJ. Hey, you guys look good in green with the red Kool-Aid face, baby. Heck yeah. Thanks again, buddy. I really do appreciate it. It helps way more than you could ever know. But if you guys do have a membership, please hit your notification and make sure that you always hit all notifications, because there will be some members only stuff happening, and it's, they're going to be, at least at the beginning, they're going to be kind of condensed. Probably won't last longer than a half hour or so. But we're going to be, I've already added a couple extra emojis that you guys get to use, even from the original ones. So I've already added a couple more. Renee had a good suggestion about a red triangle question mark. When that's put in the chat, that'll draw my attention or a mod's attention that there's a question. And, that way I can answer it. So, but anybody who's a member and who got gifted memberships and all that, thank you so much. It really does, and it humbles me. So let's just get into space weather here first. I am going to kind of not look at the chat a whole lot right this second, but feel free. Yep, there's some of them cool emojis. Piper Lynn, love that face. Okay, guys, we had another X player. And again, guys, the past couple days, I will start off by saying we have not had a whole lot going on. And, and in the grand scheme of things, thank God, because there has been a lot going on in our world right now. And, I mean, just a lot of stuff happening. I actually was, talking to Dex in the background over from Marfugal. For those that don't know who Marfugal is, I doubt if there's hardly anybody here that doesn't know who Adam and Dex are. But we were kind of texting back and forth a little bit, just saying simply how busy things are on both ends. The sun's keeping me busy, giving you guys information here. And there's so many things going on around the world and so many things to report on. They're extremely busy over there, just on that end of it. So anybody watching either one of us, thank you. It just really does keep us going, keeps us motivated. I just want to say that, especially when it gets, when we're having to do two or three live streams here in a day. When that happens, we're really speaking about some things that are pertinent and really need to be talked about. But we're going to go over some things here too with this X player. This X player did fire off in the danger zone, and I'll go into more detail here in just 2 seconds on that. So let me just bring you guys right in. We're just going to jump into it, okay? I'm not going to show a bunch of graphs and all that. I will, I'll glance them over to you so you guys can actually see the data itself. But I understand nobody wants to see a graph every time. So I know I don't. It gets to be very, very boring. I know you guys don't want to see that all the time. So anyway, this is the X flare, okay? This is what we call the west limb of the sun. Well, this would be the west limb, really. Almost right before it goes to the backside there. Now it's reversed. Remember, you got to think of those directions as if you're standing on the surface, okay? And looking up. So you got to pretend you're on the sun looking out. So east-west is opposite, but north-south is not. It's the same as anything else, okay? But again, that X-flare right there, that came from that very active, the same sunspot that helped produce that X-flare. Remember the big X-flare we had earlier this week that gave us, that fired off the big CME that hit, which gave us the G4 storm? This sunspot here. Yeah, there you go, Piperland. Right there. Hey, Ripper. Good to see you, bud. Guys, go over and check out Ripper's channel, too. He's putting up some really good content. Please. He really is. He's hammering out some great stuff. But anyway, I'm not sure who asked that. If that was you just asking, Piperland, or if that was another question that I missed. But check out this sunspot, guys. This is that same sunspot that helped produce that X-flare earlier. Now, remember what I was saying when we were talking about this. Remember how it had like 40 different separate cores? And it was just like intermingling? Well, as it passed through the Earth strike zone, got about here, it started to stabilize in the sense that things started to get in position to where they weren't really intermingling as much. Okay? The sunspot itself is bigger than what it was. One of the cores grew 3 times its size in a day. And you could fit 3 Earths inside of it. That's just one of the cores, not the whole thing here. Just one of the cores, okay? So when you get red and blue mixing with each other, that's when you get reconnection points, and those are what produces the flares. Not every time, but sometimes during the reconnection, you'll get it'll blast off a flare. And that's what happened in this instance, okay? But this thing is still harboring energy enough to fire, again, like it just did, X-flare. But it's in what we call the danger zone. Why do we call this the danger zone over here and not in here? We call this the Earth strike zone, right? Because CMEs fired right here are going to come right at Earth. And it gives us geomagnetic storming. We call this the danger zone over here because when they fire CMEs this direction, it crosses over our connection to the sun. Our magnetic connection to the sun. Interplanetary magnetic field line. Okay? We're connected to the sun with that. When it does so, the protons from these eruptions will couple to that. And it magnetically gets drawn to Earth. The protons do. What's that do? It gives us radiation storms that can last for days. Now, I've seen them last almost a week. Okay? So, and a bigger radiation storm isn't something to ignore. It's not something that we talk about very often because they don't happen as often as other events do. But when you get a big eruption on this side, and there was an eruption with this, now, but I don't think this is producing a radiation storm yet. Okay? And let me show you why. Because we can go look at, a graph, and I'm going to show it to you. We can see the X-ray production, right? This is the flare. Now, I don't want to discount that there were 2 large M-class flares also today. With that being said, that's just adding X-ray and X-ray and X-ray, you know? And X-rays, they move at the speed of light. So the flares are here in, right around 8 minutes. So it causes all that stuff in our ionosphere. It really does energize it, and it causes radio blackouts on the day side of the planet. That's exactly what happened. Okay? So let me show you where we got those blackouts at. And I can do that by this. This is the absorption region, D region absorption prediction model. And X-ray flux, this is background stuff back here. But I've shown you guys this so many times, but I need to show you what it is, right? So, right there. Okay, there's your X-flare. Now, again, I say this often, the Earth is 70% water. So it's got about a 70% chance of affecting more things on the water than it does us running around here on land. Okay? So just let me say that right up off the get. Okay? That's why when we're talking about radio blackouts, the chances of it hitting right over a big populated area are actually not as high as what you would think, okay? But it doesn't mean that it doesn't happen. It happens all the time. Now, I will say this too. R3 radio blackouts is more likely in this red part, but R2 and R1, it scales down and goes out further. So you can see how this, you get radio blackouts. And what does that mean? I get this question all the time. It really means for like first responders. That's the main thing that we're talking about here. And because they use that type of radio signal to communicate. First responders use that. So again, if somebody had a family member that had a heart attack or something, and there was a radio blackout going on, that would not be good. Now, they have backup communications, cell phones, GPS, all this other stuff, right? And yeah, it may not be as critical as it used to be, and I'm even hesitant to say that, because there are situations where that's all they have, is that type of communication. But most, dispatchers, they're able to use different communications if needed. But even when you switch to your backup system, there's always a slowdown in communication, just because you don't use it all the time. So keep that in mind. So that's why I bring this up. That's why I show you guys this. And an X flare is an X flare, guys. Let's face it. It's the biggest of flares. That's just what it is. Now, we can have an X1 all the way up to an X45. An X45 was Carrington class, right? The Carrington event was an X45 flare. That big flare caused the CME that hit Earth. I mean, so that's the kind of scale we're talking about here. So this would affect mariners a lot out here, okay? Also, it can affect anything that's hitting here land. So, I just want to point that out. Because oftentimes people kind of like brush off these radio blackouts. It's nothing to brush off of. I'm telling you. You need to be aware. It's nothing to be scared about, but it is something that you need to be aware of, okay? So I don't think this is producing a big enough CME to be giving us a bunch of protons. And the reason why is, here's the flare. We've not seen any increase in protons yet. It's been over at least 3 hours, I will say. Probably a little bit longer. And typically that'll take between 1 to 2 hours for a proton storm to hit, which is a radiation storm. Okay? So I don't think that this X-flare produced a big enough eruption with the CME that was going to give us a radiation storm. So I don't think the radiation storm is going to happen, which is a good thing, right? Now, I also want to point out here, too, our geomagnetic activity, we're kind of right where we want to be. We don't want to be zero, because then cosmic rays get in. And we don't want to be, high geomagnetic storming, because we talk about all those things that can happen during all that, right? But I just wanted to point that out. So let's get off this graph. I try my best not to show those graphs, but there are certain times where that's the only way I can explain to you what's going on, okay? But anyway, here's that X-flare on the 131 angstrom, and this is the part of the light spectrum we can't see with our eyes, and it's from the SDO satellite, and that satellite is from our perspective, okay? If you want to know exactly how that satellite orbits the Earth and watches the sun at the same time, please go over to the SDO website. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time explaining that right now. I get, and I get it. I explain it almost every time, and I'm going to try to slow down on that a little bit, because it does take up a lot of time, and people that are here all the time don't want to hear it every time. But for new people, I want people to understand. So you guys can go, the link is in my description. If you go to the SDO website, it'll tell you exactly, and it even has little movies that'll show you exactly how the satellite's operating, okay? So if you want to know exactly how that works, and from now on, I'm probably going to say, hey guys, go over here if you want to know how the satellite works. Unless I get asked specifically, how's this work? Then I'll explain it. If somebody really wants to know in the chat, I will explain it. It's a question, I'm going to answer it. So anyway, that's from our perspective, and it is the 131 angstrom part of our light spectrum that we cannot see with our eyes. They use a filter, and that's how we're able to see, and it's looking at specific gases. So we're able to see flares on the 131 really well. And again, this is a bigger flare. Now, because it's on this side, like I said, and it really didn't produce much of a CME with it. Okay? How can I say that? Well, let's go over here and look. This is SOHO. This is another satellite from our perspective, but it's about 1 million miles closer to the sun than what we are. Okay? So if we go up here and we look at the 28th, well, actually, I could do this real quick. You see this right here? That's Earth. The satellite I'm getting ready to show you is right here, right in front of us. And it just orbits around the sun right in front of us. That simple. Again, it's as if you went outside and looked up. Okay? That was yesterday. That was a backside eruption. So I just wanted to show that to you real quick before we go to the X-flare. Now, it looked pretty impressive, right? And that would, from this perspective, it would look like that was in the danger zone, but it wasn't, because it was more so fired off this direction. It's kind of an optical illusion when you're looking at a two-dimensional movie here, or slideshow, I guess would be better said. You get an image, I believe, once every, well, let's see. Once every 12 minutes. Okay? So it's like a flip book. Old animation flip books we used to make when we were kids. Well, at least some of us. So that's what you're going to see. That went off the backside, though. So that's not going to affect us. But today is when we had the X-flare, and right there on the end, you get to see the beginnings of the eruption. I'm going to try to just kind of slow it right here. Okay. Now, it's a large area here, but it's not like really, really blasted out of there, right? You see how slow it's moving? It's moving really slow for a CME. So, again, the slower it is, usually the less intense it is. That's just what I'll say on that end of it. But as you're looking at that is in that danger zone. So, that doesn't matter for radiation storms, how fast something's moving. If it crosses that magnetic line, we're going to grab those protons and it's going to come right back to us, right? So it's not really carrying enough protons with it to be giving us a radiation storm, at least from the data that we're seeing right now. So that is that eruption from that X-flare. So let's take a little closer look here at this X-flare. Okay, again, this is the 131. And I'm going to back it up because we're going to be able to see those other flares too. And they came from the same sunspot. The sunspot's getting active again. And it's good that it's going to be going to the backside of the sun. But we got about probably another day and a half, maybe 2 days, that this thing is in the danger zone, like I said a minute ago. I don't like using that word danger. It really does imply something like imminently going to happen, that kind of thing. And that's not what it is. It's just it's a time frame in which we need to watch for radiation storms if there's a blast on that side. That's all I'm saying. There's your X-flare. And again, it doesn't even look all that impressive, does it? This is not one of the more impressive X-flares that I've seen. So, but it did produce, R3 radio blackouts. So it did do things. And I know that once we see big ones like we've seen this past week, when we see these other ones now, it almost looks like, well, this doesn't look that big of a deal at all. That is a mistake to start thinking like that. Because up until that happened this week, all that other stuff we were talking about was still causing issues, right? It's just like with this X-flare. You guys really, or the X-flare this past week, you guys really think that there wasn't anything that happened? So I had that question. Yeah, things happen. There were small power outages. There were things that were happening that were directly related to that blast. We just didn't get the big one, right? And I told you guys from the beginning that wasn't going to be that. Now, I will say that we do not, oftentimes when you hear like grid down stuff, most grid down situations are not going to start all at the same time. What I mean by that is you're going to have something happen, like to, I don't know, maybe one transformer or maybe at a substation, and it causes a chain reaction that eventually will shut down regions of the grid. Okay? It doesn't mean all those other components got hit. All it takes is the one. So that's what I'm saying. So if you start getting hit here and hit there, small things happen, it starts to cause that domino effect, and that's when you see the other things happen. Thanks, brother. Thanks, Deep Quick. Appreciate you. Appreciate you a lot. I really do. All you guys that are members. Thank you for gifting those. Hey, IG got a Bill got one. CLT. Who else got one? Dr. Fatbird. Like the name, by the way. Awesome stuff, Deep Quick. Appreciate you, man. For sure. So cool. So cool. Thank you. And again, guys, I got some pretty cool stuff coming with the membership stuff. And again, I don't want to make it so this and that and, hey, you're not a member, da, 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 da. No, that's never going to be like that here. I promise. But I am not going to not give members something extra. Because that's, you know, it's going to be extra from what I already do. And I've already explained that. So thank you guys for that. Please, those that are members, try to make the members only stream. I haven't done one yet, but I'm getting ready to. And we're going to talk about, I'm going to let you guys help me choose some emojis and stuff like that. And show you guys some of my pre-stream setup stuff, just to give you guys an idea. Hey, Butterfly, and Full of Hope, what's up? B&B, Leisure, what's up? Trish, okay. Come on, guys, you're my mods. I trust you. You're going to tell me to quit that crap, get back to the space weather. Just kidding. But no, for real, if I do that, throw a bunch of whatever in the chat there so I know I'm doing that. Sometimes I don't realize I'm doing it. And I haven't done a live stream in a couple days, so kind of, yeah. But this is the 211 angstrom from SDO. Hey, Dr. Fatbird, thank you. Appreciate that. Whoever gets those, thank Dr. Fatbird for that. That's awesome stuff, guys. It really is. And I will say one more thing about the memberships. I stopped the levels at $20. Most channels, they're going to take you up to $100. That's not my intent. I want everybody to be as involved as they possibly can. I don't want to put it out of reach for people. You know what I mean? I hope you guys understand that. I really do. And I am going to, you know, we're going to be doing some, like I said, some pretty cool things. We're going to be doing some Zoom calls with each other, all that kind of stuff. So if you guys want to be a part of that, please, if you're a member, hit your notification bell so you know when we do it. But yeah, anyway. So this is the, see, I got off track again, didn't I? I'm sorry, guys. I really was doing really good last week with this. And now I did it again. So anyway, forgive me. I'm just knocking the rust off again. So you got the 171 here. And this is just another filter we can't see with our eyes. Or another part of the light spectrum we can't see with our eyes. Now you're going to notice you don't see a whole lot here with that X-flare. And I'm showing it to you for that reason. Just because we don't see it there doesn't mean it ain't happening. And that's why we look at these other ones. Now check it out here on the 94. And let me show you this because I think it's interesting. We get to see it communicate all the way over here again. This thing is communicating still with other regions of the sun. See it? Let's see what happened there. That fired a little bit, and I think it destabilized enough it caused that flare. I'll back it up. See, watch what I'm doing right here. See it do that, and then boom, there went the flare. There went the big flare right there. That first flare was that high M class flare. Now you notice all this stuff out here you didn't see on the other angstrom. Again, that's why we look at this. I mean, I just think yeah, we need to. That's what I'll say. So, again, it fired off, but it was a very, very slow-moving CME that came off of that. So, and it's not coming at Earth, and it looks like it's already passed over our connection line, so I don't think we're going to get a radiation storm from it. But it is in that area. Once a sunspot gets here and fires anything, it's in that area that we need to pay attention for radiation storms. Okay? Hopefully you guys understand that. That's because of the Parker spiral. And I'm not going to go into what that is. Just kind of remember that name, the Parker spiral. And I'll go into more explanation on that at a later time. But it is because of the way that we move. And all the orbits and all the rotations and all of that. So, but there's more to it than what people think. But there's also not so much to it that you can't understand it. You can understand it. So that's what I'll say. Also, on the left, this is today's sun. This is the sun in 2020. So basically solar maximum, solar minimum. That's the difference. Just so you know. Okay. So let me this is the Discover data. I'm going to show it to you real quick. Notice how everything's looking almost like a straight line. Everything is very, very quiet and stable right now. Okay? And that's why I'm showing it to you. I haven't been able to show you that looking like that in quite some time. I'm talking like months. I've not seen it look that stable and more ambient condition looking than what it does right now in months. And that oftentimes happens after a big storm. And I'm going to explain why here just a second. I'm trying to find this other model. Okay, so what you're looking at here is the magnetopause models. Now, I know people that watch me and have watched me for a while are looking at this thinking, man, it looks a little strange, a little odd, right? Looks like it might be something going on. Look at the density. You don't see any, do you? That's because there hardly is any. And if you go down to magnetic pressure, check that out. Again, anybody that's watched me even for 2 weeks at this point would know that that is very, very low magnetic pressure. And, you know, this is something that we might see during solar minimum more so than what we see now. Notice that our magnetopause, our magnetic field, this is the bow shock, and that's our first point of contact between solar wind and our magnetic field. Now, I want to stop it right there, okay? Hold on a minute. I think I got a question. Bill Fortenberry can. All this sun activity cause weather changes on Earth. Most definitely it can, Bill. It does. It's not can. It does. Okay? And let me tell you why. The sun is the single most influencer on anything in your life when it comes to nature. The sun stuff, like when we get flares, there's so much evidence now, so much data collection, some observations, a lot of studies have come out. When we get flares and CMEs that hit, like during hurricanes, we see them instantly intensify. So also you got to think when we get hit with these things from the sun, because of some of the electrical connections and things that are being compressed. And again, I'm not going to go into great detail on that because it does take some explanation. But what it's doing is, in some of the cracks that open up and all this stuff that we talk about, it can, at the very least, it's adding electrons. So if you think in the terms of like thunderstorms, what's that going to do? It's going to increase just the intensity of it. Lightning's going to increase. Chances of everything just gets intensified. Now, it's not going to happen over like the whole globe all at once. okay? But it can influence bigger weather systems. We've seen it like almost help steer a hurricane. And I could go back and show that to you, but I'm not going to because it does take a lot of explanation on that end of it. That would be something for a whole video or a whole live stream to talk about. But we did see it a couple years ago. Blast flare and CME stuff was hitting right over top of two different hurricanes, like a week apart from one another. And they instantly, almost instantly intensified unexpectedly. Okay, that word unexpectedly needs to be there because they were not anticipating an intensification. And that's what makes it different. Okay? So if you're looking at this now, I hope I answered that question for you, Bill. And there's a whole lot more that goes into that. I would suggest just, go back and I don't think I have a playlist to kind of point you to, but there's a lot of different videos and just there's a lot of information out there if you wanted to like read it for yourself. You could probably just do a simple Google search and get started. I wish I had a video to point you to. I know I did a video on that when it did it over top of the flare. The flare did it over top of the hurricane. It's been like 2 years ago. So you might be able to find one back in my older live streams. But anyway, so back to this. Hope that helps, Bill. Guys, that's not me squirreling, by the way. Somebody asked a question. I'm answering it. So anybody wants to blow me some crap over that, I'm sorry. I'm answering that question because it was a space weather question. Anyway, I'm not sorry, but that's why I did that. Hey, Aaliyah, good to see you, girl. I'm not sure when Marfugo's going to be going live. I don't think he's live yet on MFTV. Nope. If Marfugo goes live during this, guys, please go watch him. You guys can come back, check this out on the end, afterwards, please. I would much rather you do that. And that goes for anybody else that I send you to. Okay, you guys can come watch me on replay. But anyway, hey, Hilly, good to see you. Gunslinger's in the house. I seen you up in here right at the beginning. Hey, you guys like that new emoji? Look what Stephen A just did right there. That's one of the new membership emojis. It's a purple eggplant. Good to see you, girl. Hope you're feeling good. Hope you're feeling better. I know you were kind of down and out there for a while. Wow, look at all them red Kool-Aid faces. Wow, you guys are just awesome. So cool. Butterfly, I also want to say to you, thank you for supporting this whole community. I've seen you on multiple channels the past week. That's just awesome. It's so cool. Hilly. He acts kind of silly. Just kidding. Hey, Jennifer, good to see you. Hey, Jerry. So you guys, come on now. Start throwing them squirrels out there in that chat, and I'll quit this crap. Okay, so geomagnetic pressure. Energy's coming from the left from the sun. This looks like nothing. It looks like our magnetic field's gone, doesn't it? It's not. Okay. This is just showing you magnetic pressure. If there isn't any pressure to show, it's not going to show it. Doesn't mean anything's wrong. Okay. I stopped it right there for a reason, because right there everything looks like it's gone, right? Well, we took just a little small increase in space weather right there, and look what shows up. It's all still there, guys. Okay. It's not going to go away. You oftentimes hear some people say the bow shock's down, red alert, bow shock's down. Bow shock ain't down. The bow shock can get compressed greatly. Okay, it can. But it's not going to go away. The only way a bow shock goes away is if the sun goes away or our magnetic field is completely down, not working at all. And both of those scenarios is a really bad day for everybody on this planet. Okay? Just saying. So, I just wanted to show that to you for that reason. Now, when we go up here and look at density, again, you're going to see a lot of white because that's low density. Okay? There's hardly any density hanging around. The speed is not going to be there a whole lot here right now, guys. Because there's not a whole lot going on. And I know you see that, right? So let me pause it here and let me explain. Because when you see this, and you see that, it looks like, man, something just blasted Earth. No. The speed just got... you couldn't really see the speed because there wasn't hardly any density, right? So what I'm saying here, guys, when you get hit with the big one like we did last week, I slowly seen these magnetopause models go this direction, and it's a huge flushing out effect. So whenever you see these on these models, you have to check the data. Nothing is going on, okay? So I just want to point that out, because I don't want somebody to get confused watching somebody else that doesn't have quite the understanding of what that model is actually trying to show you. That's about as nice as I can say it. I could say it really, really mean and hateful, and I'm not going to do that because I do think people try for the most part. But there are those out there that have been corrected over and over and over again and continue to say things like that. It's bad. That's a bad thing to do. It really is. I don't involve myself in that kind of drama. I just say that as a general statement, because that's what it is. Okay, so our boy Tony Phillips over here, Dr. Tony Phillips, another awesome job as always. I really haven't read what he's talking about here. Okay, he's talking about the X-Class flare again. I highly suggest you guys go over here and check out his channel. Please go give him some love and some traffic. Now see, this is cool. This is what I'm talking about. This is a plane that was caught in Prestwick, Scotland. This guy was looking at the sun, got this picture. Look in the background. What do you see right there? You know what that is? It's this. That's what you're seeing right there, guys. That is that. Okay? So it's just cool. That kind of stuff is just cool when you catch very unique photographs like that. He's actually talking about the Parker Spiral here. Well, heck, he's talking about that danger zone too. See, it's funny how a lot of us will come out here and start talking about something, and it ain't because we go out and look at somebody else. Like, sometimes I'm out here talking about something first, or somebody else's first. It ain't that we're, like, trying to do that. It just happens, because that's the space weather news at the time. But I just thought, that's pretty cool. It's pretty neat that you can see that sunspot there with that aircraft there in the background. That's got to be one of the very few like that. Has to be. What's he saying here? Yeah, okay. He's pretty much saying the same thing I said. Maybe a little different, but pretty close. But please go give Dr. Tony Phillips some love. I don't know Dr. Tony Phillips. I just think the website is awesome. So much to learn there. But, guys, that's pretty much all I got for you. There's not a whole lot more to say because I just showed you guys why. Now, I will say this coronal hole right here could give us some space weather here in the next couple days. We are not anticipating any kind of big hit tomorrow or anything, but things are happening still. Hey, what's up, Tommy? Good to see you, brother. Good to see you, my man. You guys need to get over and check out the lifeboat whenever you can. Guys, that link's on my homepage always. It's the first link there. Not in my description box. It's in my description box, too. It's in my awesome channels list. It's on my, like, right underneath my banner. There's a lifeboat link. Please go click it and go check out some good content. Good stuff going on over there. He's branched out. He's doing a lot more stuff now. And, you know, it all leads back to recovery, too. So that's what it's been about. And that's what, you know, him just kind of spreading out is really drawing people in, and it's a good thing. There are people in need of help in all genre, so anything that can help anybody in that area is awesome. and he does a great job with it. You know, he's been able to get in with some different genres of what we do here on YouTube, and it's really drawing in a good crowd, and it's a good thing. Getting a lot of people are getting good help. So that's what I would say. Good job, Tommy. Love you, brother. Guys, get over there and check it out. Hey, BK. So has anybody got any questions? I'll wait a couple seconds here. But members, guys, on the members stuff, please click your notification bell and stuff. Because I will be doing that. I'm not sure if hey, there you are, Renee. Hey, I named one of those emojis after you. I think I named it the Renee question mark or something like that. That was her idea. I went out and I found that little red triangle. It had a question mark in the middle of it. That was her idea. I thought it was a good one. So if anybody can see that, please pop it in there. And if you got a question. What's my favorite color? Believe it or not, guys, my favorite color is purple. Purple, purple. There it is. Daryl just put it in there. That's the Renee question mark right there. It draws my attention, and that's what it was meant for. Do I golf? I used to. I can no longer golf. I am fused. I'm fused C3 to T1 in my neck. Can you see when we send the floating emojis on the right side with the heart? Yeah, we can see that. We sure can. Draper cherry. It's a good one, Deep Quake. Thank you, Bill. Appreciate you. Hey, Enigma. Hey, he. I'm not sure if you're a he or a she. You don't have to tell me if you don't want. That's my first $20 member right there. Thank you for that. Appreciate that. I don't even think it happened during the live stream. I think you joined when I wasn't even live. Thank you for that. There you go, Renee. And there's the other one I added too. Little dog face. Ripper, you're killing me with that. Love that. Love it, love it, love it. Hey, Stephanie. Hey, Wharton. Hey, you deserve that one, Renee, for real. I'm not kidding. Not even kidding. Yeah, I've had, energy saver. My battery's getting low on I don't have my laptop plugged in. Sorry, guys. I'll have to plug it in here in a minute. We're okay, though. Yeah, I've fought that for a very long time, guys. Look at all the emojis. Love it. Yeah. I wish I could. It was my favorite game. I've actually got, hey, Seventh Son, good to see you, my brother. Guys, let me say this. Please come back and drop a comment, okay, underneath these videos. It helps way more than you could ever know. Plus, you get to see Seventh Son. He always gives me a dad joke to pin at the top. So I'll go back in about, I don't know, a couple hours after my video to see if he's left a comment yet. And I'll specifically look for his, and I pin it. He does that for me. It's awesome stuff. I really do appreciate that. Seventh, I really do. You guys like that purple eggplant? Yeah, I like that one too. Guys, I can add like 10 more now. It's crazy how many they're letting me put out because you guys joined so quick. They base it off the number of members you have. So when I started, I could only have 4 emojis. And now I can have, I think it's 18. It's crazy. But you guys are awesome. All of you. All of you. Yes, Bill, thank you for bringing that up because I forgot to mention it. I am going to try to bring you guys that. But let me explain something real quick. Okay, on the eclipse. My town actually, I'm in the path of totality, just so you guys know. I don't have to go nowhere. I'm going to be able to go out in my front yard and look up, and there it is, right? So I'm very fortunate in that, But what has happened is all the hotels are sold out. They're expecting it to take 3 to 10 hours to drive across town. Aloha, off the hook. Good to see you. Yeah, ridiculous algorithms for sure. But let me say, I like that one, surgery. That's a pretty cool one. But there's an issue that most people aren't thinking about. All of the 5G is going to be ate up. All of the cell signal. Okay? Jay, we're not oblivious to that. We just, yeah, I'm not going to let that one be put out there because of that word. But, no, we got you, Jay, for real. But we're not really, we try not to think of it that way. I just thought it was a cool eggplant. That's all. I know what it means. Like, if you want to use that kind of thing, but it doesn't have to mean that, I guess is what I'm saying. Anyway, but the 5G is going to be ate up where I'm at. And they actually petitioned the state to try to get some boosters over here. And they're being placed elsewhere. We're not going to get any of them. So my fear is if I promise, hey guys, I'm going to go mobile live with you, there's a good chance I'm not going to have a good enough signal. Probably, yeah, I know. Jay Fry. Hey, I'm with you. But there's a good chance I won't have enough signal to do it. Beaches. Yeah. Again. Was it Steve Miller Band? They did some stuff about the peaches. Anyway. That is going to be ate up. Okay. And that's my fear. So I don't want to promise something I can't bring in, okay? I'm going to try to do it right here in my yard. And the reason why is because I can stay connected to my Wi-Fi. Okay? Back at you, Jay. Back at you. Oh, goodness. He's trying his best. Come on, guys. You guys are killing me here. Anyway, yeah. Thanks for the laughs, guys. I love it. Record it and upload it later. That's a good idea, Star. I probably will do at least that. But I want to bring it to people live. You know, it's just there's something about doing it live that just is really cool. Hey, Monk, good to see you, bud. Kim Possible's in the house. But yeah, Piper Run. Love it, love it, love it. Yeah, for sure, Jay. For sure. Give that man a mic. He's got me cracking up over here. Anyway, wanted to ask Brian. Okay. Walking to the beaches looking at, yep. Hey, Stephanie. Off the hook. Yeah, I'm going to try to do it live, guys. Okay. I'm not going to, that's the thing. I can't promise that it's going to work. And that's why I'm not trying to just blast it out there. Hey guys, I'm going to go live during the eclipse. I'm going to tell you guys, I'm going to try. I'm going to do my best. Plus there's a lot of other things that are, hey, thank you, TNAZ. Appreciate that. Thank you for that super chat. Very generous. Thank you. Humbled. Every time you guys do stuff like that, I'm very humbled. So thank you for that. But what I will say is with the eclipse thing, I'm going to have to get some special lenses and things like that. I could, and I may do this if I absolutely have to. I have some extra eclipse glasses, which good luck finding those right now, guys. If you ain't already got them, good luck finding them. But I have enough here. I may take the lens out of one of those and put it over top of my lens on my phone. Now, if I do that, there's a good chance it's going to cause like a secondary lens flare. But I'm not too worried about that. I can tell, hey, that's a lens flare, guys. Let's pay attention to this over here. That kind of thing. But without that, guys, if you guys are just simply to Google the equipment it takes to properly film that kind of a thing, yeah, you could put a down payment on a house with the money you'd have to spend. I'm just saying. It's crazy. Photography stuff is extremely expensive when you're talking about that kind of thing. So I just wanted to point that out, guys, because I don't want anybody to think that I'm going to be able to be here and do that again. And because I have been researching it and trying my best to find what I need. And then when I heard that the 5G here was just going to be ate up because so many people are going to be where I'm at, I was like, man, that has just got to be, I don't even want to promise that now. But what I will promise is that I will try. I will try to go live during that. Even if it's nothing more than me taking my phone and pointing it at the sky. Okay? That way you guys get a good live look at something. But I want to say this too. There's going to be a lot of people carrying this live. Okay? So you may be better off and get a better view from somebody else's channel. You know, I'm not afraid to say that. I'm not trying to, you know what I mean? There are going to be people out there afraid to say that. Like, well, now they're going to go watch them, not come watch me. That's not my goal. My goal is to get you guys the best thing that you can. It's, for a lot of people, it's a once-in-a-lifetime thing. This is a very special one. Okay? So, just, if you guys could, just keep that in mind. And I'll talk more about that as we get closer, guys. If I think that I absolutely can do it, I will tell you that. But if there's a chance that I won't be able to get it done, I'm going to tell you that too. It's Ripper. Oh my God. I'm not even going to read that one out loud. That is so freaking awesome. Guys, you need to read Rip's, oh, you know what? Let me do this. Oh, okay, there it is. It's now the pin to comment at the top. There you go. Read that one, guys. That's an awesome one. Wow. I love it. Love it. Love it. All right, guys. I am going to pop off, guys. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for everything that you guys have been doing. Please, the channel's growing. Whatever we're doing here, it's working. And I want to continue that. So please keep sharing and all that kind of thing. And thank you for all the support, all the memberships, all the super chats. You guys have no idea right now what that's meaning to me and my family. I'm humbled, and just know it's not expected, but is more than appreciated. Okay? So hopefully I can earn all of that for you guys. And I'm trying my best. So, if anything else happens between now and tomorrow, I'll be here. If not, you'll see me tomorrow, guys. Okay, guys? Hey, Axe Nacho. Guys, go check him out. Hey, go check out Mark. Mark Inspires also. Please. Please go show him some love. He has some problems with the monetization on his channel and all that, but he still needs some support, guys. Please go check him out. Go show him some love. Mark Pyers. His channel is Mark Inspires. But I need to get off of here. My laptop is literally getting ready to go dead. So, anyway, guys, God bless. Yahusha saves, and you can drink this Kool-Aid.